I said, I never saw anything like this. It was crazy. It was so good. Take the best fight you've ever seen. It was like
Yeah.
that fight, right? It was so good that I gave it to him again, and all of a sudden it caught on. But when I wasn't in vogue, I've had time. You probably never had a time, but I had times when I wasn't exactly in vogue. Dana, they called him. He said, he's the greatest guy. There's nobody like him. He said, I'll never say anything bad about that guy because when I needed, because they were having a hard time at the beginning. They almost pulled the plug a couple of times, right? He said he stood up and he gave us stuff that nobody else gave us and nobody wanted anything to do. And he said, I will never. And there was a time where it would have been very popular for him to say bad stuff about me. He said the greatest stuff about me. He said, you're going to try and get me to say bad stuff about Trump? I'm never doing it.
No,
So
he's a very,
he's
very,
an
very
unusual
loyal guy.
Yeah,
very unusual guy.
He's
And
a fantastic guy.
a perfect guy to be at the helm of something so controversial as the UFC.
Less controversial now. I mean,
Well, now it's huge. Yeah. Well, this was always the thing that I would hope that it would be. I always knew that it was unbelievably entertaining, but I just didn't know if maybe I was crazy. Maybe I loved it because I've had this long history of being involved in martial arts, and maybe like other people who just think it's too violent. But
can boxing make it?
yeah, boxing's still a great sport. I love boxing.
But it seems to be so unimportant now by comparison to UFC, don't you think?
I think, well, Dana is working with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. They're going to start promoting boxing now. And with Dana at the helm of it, I think boxing could return because the thing is they want to make fights that other people, maybe, promoters don't want to make because they want to protect their fighter. Controversial fights where, it's dangerous. Like, you don't know, this guy could lose. And so the Saudis, they're smart. They just offer a tremendous amount of money, and they're putting together fights that no one else can put together. They're doing that in boxing.
If Dana's involved, he'll probably make it good. The amazing thing, though, in fighting, no UFC fighter, they say, has ever died. And it looks to me much more violent than boxing. Many boxers have died. Isn't it interesting? And Dana tells me because they take so many shots to the face.
Yes. And there's also no other options to preserve yourself, to protect yourself. So if you get hit in a UFC fight, you can clinch. You can try to take the fight to the ground. You get options. Yeah. Also, you don't get allowed to get knocked down and then get back up. When you get knocked down, you're concussed. And generally, if a guy's really hurt, they could be finished on the ground and the fight's over. If it's boxing, you have 10 seconds to get up.